first day in Mayflower was
4th of January 1988.
The first day we are coming to the school, I have to carry my bus on my head with my mom. Wonder nowadays, imagine you are taking your son or your daughter to school and you have to carry your box, you have to carry your mattress, carry your cutlass, everything, and we have to pass through the school. Then, nowadays, the teacher will say, Mommy, don't let my fellow students see me.
I recall that my parents, my dad and mom, had dropped me at the student second home. It was a Sunday, and I was dropped at the hostel, and I just was excited that I was coming to the boarding school, and I found it very exciting to have been, dropped by my parents.
First day in Mayflower was interesting. It was a whole new world on its own. I was dropped like a lot of other JS1 students in the hostel. My first experience out of my parents' house. I'd always been under care, but now I was let out into the world by myself. So I came in having all my things by myself. I was supposed to start a new life and be a different person entirely. It was interesting because I got into the hostels and I saw all kinds of people.
It was not that memorable, it was not a lovely one, because I couldn't locate my class at first. Nobody volunteered to help, so just find out your way. And while I was finding out my way, I collided with Mr. Ashwingbe, one of our worst teachers. Then we hated him because he used to be too much. So that day he flogged me as if I have been in the school, not knowing that I'm just a JS1 student.
actually very surprising. When I got there, my elder brothers went there before me, so they told me a lot of stories about the school. When I got there, I actually thought I could count the days that we used before the next term, but after 3 days I got bored and I just fell in love with what I saw in that place.
It started getting real to me, not until the second night. The first night was still some excitement. I've left home finally. I'm now on my own. I've been fantasizing about going to a boarding school for a long time, trying to think about what it held for me. And then coming into this environment of all kinds of people, everybody making a bit of a noise. The first day in school is usually like that. You don't get the feeling yet until you leave out the second and the third night. Then you understand what you got into.
Then in the evening, we were told to go to our hostel. I recall that somebody just announced and told us to all leave one particular hall then and go to our hostel. So I went, and it then dawned on me that indeed I was in another environment. That was when I cried that, oh my God, I'm in another environment and I'm stuck here for the next 6 years. But I'm grateful for it.
Second interesting part of it was that then I found my partner in crime. That's what I call him, Tunde Ayola. You know, he was my friend also. And we connected because we had exactly the same feeling. So whenever I had tears in my eyes, I went to look for him. And we joined hands and cried together. Can you imagine? 2 young JS1 students crying together because of the new life that they found themselves.
Day in the life of a typical Mayflower student has to be waking up as early as
5:15. So that 5:15, you'd be allowed to just get off your bed and run to the field. Run to the field, then to have the early morning exercise. That should last for about 15 minutes or so, 15 to, I think, maximum of 30 minutes. Then everyone is also expected to run back to the bathroom and have his or her bath. It's also a survival of the fittest. You just needed to be very smart. You get to the bathroom, have your bath, then another bell goes at around 6 o'clock to have the breakfast. The breakfast, typical breakfast was pap every day. That's when I came in. Every day, Monday to Friday, was pap and beans.
You have to go to your plot at 6:30. The school was divided into plots. We had no cleaners, we had nobody to clean the school. The school was divided into plots. Your plot, you have your student number on your plot. And before assembly was at 8 o'clock. Before assembly, you had to have tidied your plot, tidied your corner, and had breakfast. You go back to your plot now and make sure everything is okay, and then you go to the assembly.
On to various plots where we are told to work, clean different portions of the school in order to maintain utmost neatness. After that, we go to the assembly and we use a special book here in Mayflower called the Merry Mayflower. We have various hymns there, and the school anthem, the pledge, the national anthem, both the one used before colonization and after. So I really appreciate that book.
And by 8 o'clock, we are all in our various classrooms for the academic work. At about midday, 12 or 12:30, we have a 30-minute break. That's typical of any school. And by 2 o'clock or thereabouts, we close for the day. Then at about 2 o'clock or thereabouts, everybody is supposed to also go back to the hostel. We all walk down. Then we have a lunch in the hostel. Then after the lunch, we have siesta. Yes, afternoon siesta. Everyone is expected to rest in the dormitory. At about 4:30 or thereabouts, we would be allowed to go for what is called a silent, is it silent hour? Yes, afternoon prep. Call it afternoon prep. At that time, for my set, I got in 1988 till 1993, so 6 years. So afternoon prep was usually held under the trees. We had some very cool, shady environments not far from our hostel. So we spent like 1 hour or so, 45 minutes or so, immediately after the siesta, afternoon siesta. So after the afternoon prep, we then have time, I think about 30 minutes or so, to do your personal chores. It's either you take time to wash your school uniform, do your assignments, feel free to play with friends, do anything you would like to do. Then at 5:30 or 5:45, it's time for, no, at 5:30 or so, we have a dinner. So typical meals, I mentioned earlier, at breakfast, usually pap and beans or Indian pap and beans. Then the lunch and dinner, varieties of occasional rice, yam, swallow, you know, just typical regular foods. It's around 6 o'clock to have the breakfast. The breakfast, typical breakfast was pap every day. That's when I came in. Every day, Monday to Friday, was pap and beans. Then at some point, 2 or 3 years later, we had what was called Indian pap. It was also a typical early morning regular breakfast for us.
I can't say I love school style food, seriously speaking. Most especially the eba. I don't like it at all, even the sides.
Then after dinner, there is another time for academic work to study, and that's what we call silent hour. We all sit down on the field. There is an open field then. Just an open field. Everybody is expected to be on that field, and it's actually silent.
My favorite food is rice and alata dudu. That is actually the food that everybody do like, but me, that's what I prefer in the hostel, because there's no food that is actually good except from that rice and alata dudu.